Have you ever left your partner for someone else? I got married right after high school. I thought I had it all figured out. We were young, broke, and completely convinced that love was enough. At first, it felt like it was. We'd stay up watching movies on a cracked old laptop, splitting gas station pizza, and laughing at nothing until we couldn't breathe. For a while, even our tiny apartment felt like a castle. But things didn't stay like that. She started picking fights over little things. I'd come home from work and she'd be sitting on the couch scrolling through her phone, not even looking up. If I asked how her day was, she'd say, "Why do you care?" One night, I forgot to put the cap back on the toothpaste, and she dumped my entire drawer onto the floor. "This is what living with you feels like," she said. At first, I thought it was just stress. I worked extra hours. I brought her flowers. I cooked her favorite meals. She barely acknowledged any of it. One time, I made her breakfast on a Saturday morning: eggs, toast, coffee, just the way she liked it. She took one bite, spit it out, and said, "It tastes like regret." She didn't just insult me. She tore me down, piece by piece. When I told her I was considering applying for a new job, she laughed and said, "You think anyone would hire someone like you?" If I looked upset, she'd smirk and say I was being dramatic. The worst moments weren't even when she was yelling. It was when she was quiet. The nights she would stare through me at dinner, like I wasn't even there. I remember standing in the kitchen once, holding a stack of bills, trying to figure out how to make rent. She walked in, grabbed the envelope from my hand, ripped it in half, and said, "You're useless, just like your paycheck." There was one night I'll never forget. I had just gotten off a long shift. My back hurt, my hands were scraped, and I stopped to grab her favorite candy bar on the way home. I walked in and handed it to her, hoping it might make her smile. She looked at it, then at me, and said, "Do you think I'm that easy to buy off?" She threw it at the wall and walked away. And still, I stayed. We couldn't get divorced. Not in our families. Her parents were strict and religious, and mine weren't any different. Leaving would mean shame. It would mean rejection. So I kept trying. I thought if I could just be better, maybe she would go back to being the girl I married. Then one night, a friend convinced me to come to a birthday party. I didn't want to go, but I went anyway. That's where I met Mia. She wasn't trying to impress anyone. She just listened. When I told a dumb story about work, she laughed, not to be polite, but like it genuinely made her happy. We started texting. Nothing romantic, just two people talking. She'd ask how I was doing, and for the first time in a long time, someone actually meant it. I didn't tell her everything at first, but eventually, it came out. She didn't freak out. She didn't pity me. She said, "You know that's not normal, right?" I told her I couldn't leave, that my family would cut me off, that her parents would never forgive her. Mia looked me in the eye and said, "If they care more about rules than your safety, they don't deserve you." The final straw came on a Thursday night. I forgot to take the trash out. She threw a plate across the room and screamed that I was the worst thing that ever happened to her. I stood there, staring at the broken pieces on the floor, and something inside me just went still. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just said, "I'm leaving." And I did. I crashed at a buddy's place. Mia checked in every day. She brought food. She sat with me in silence when I couldn't talk. Slowly, I started breathing again. We didn't jump into anything, but after some time, things changed between us. It felt natural, real. We got married last year. Nothing fancy. Just friends, family, and a sense of peace I never thought I'd feel again.